Yah Scriptures, 1 Samuel chapter 21. And David came to Nob, to Abimelech the Kohen, or priest. And Abimelech trembled when he met David, and asked him, "Why are you alone, and no one is with you?" David said to Abimelech the Kohen, "The sovereign has commanded me a word, and said to me, 'Let no one know whatever of the word about which I send you, and which I have commanded you. And I have directed my young men to such and such a place. And now what do you have on hand? Give 5 loaves into my hand, or whatever is found." And the Kohen answered David and said, "There is no ordinary bread on hand, but there is Kodesh bread, holy bread, set apart bread, provided the young men have kept themselves from women." And David answered the Kohen and said to him, "Truly, women have been kept from us about 3 days since I came out. And the vessels of the young men are holy and set apart. But it is an ordinary mission, and also it was holy and set apart in the vessel today." Then the Kohen gave him the set apart bread, for there was no bread there except the show bread, which had been taken from before the Most High, in order to put hot bread in on the day it is taken away. Now one of the servants of Shaul was there that day, detained before the Most High, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chief of the herdsmen, who belonged to Shaul. And David said to Abimelech, "Is there not here on hand a spear or a sword? For I have brought neither my sword nor my weapons with me, because the matter of the sovereign was urgent." And the Kohen said, "The sword of Goliath the Pelishite, whom you smote in the valley of Elah, see, it is wrapped in a garment behind the shoulder garment. If you would take it, take it, for there is none other except this one here." And David said, "There is none like it. Give it to me." And David rose and fled that day from before Shaul, and went to Achish, the sovereign of Gath. But the servants of Achish said to him, "Is this not David, the king of the land? Did they not sing of him to each other in dances, saying, 'Shaul smote his thousands, and David his 10,000s'?" And David took these words to heart, and was very much afraid of Achish, the king of Gath, and changed his behavior before them, and feigned madness in their hands, and scratched on the doors of the gate, and let his saliva run down on his beard. Then Achish said to his servants, "Look, you see, the man is acting like a madman. Why do you bring him to me? Am I short of madmen, that you have brought this one to act as a madman near me? Should this one come into my house?" Chapter 22. And David went from there and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And his brothers and all of his father's house heard it, and went down to him there. Everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt, everyone bitter and being gathered to him. So he became head over them, and there were about 400 men. David went from there to Mizpah of Moab, and said to the sovereign of Moab, "Please let my father and my mother come here with you until I know what Elohim does for me." And he left them with the sovereign king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the time that David was in the stronghold. And the prophet Gad, the Nabi, said to David, "Do not remain in the stronghold. Leave and go to the land of Yehudah." So David left and went into the Hereth woods. And Shaul heard that David and the men who were with him had been discovered, while Shaul was in Geba, sitting under a tamarisk tree in Ramah, with his spear in his hand, and all of his servants standing round him. Shaul said to his servants who were standing, Hear now, you Benjamites, does the son of Jesse give every one of you the fields and vineyards, and make you all commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds? For all of you have conspired against me, and there is no one who reveals to me that my son has made a covenant with you, with the son of Jesse. There is not one of you who is grieved for me or reveals to me that my son has stirred up my servant against me, to lie in wait, as it is this day. And Doeg the Edomite, who was put over the servants of Shaul, answered and said, I saw the son of Jesse going to Nob, to Abimelech, son of Ahitub. He inquired of Yahweh for him, gave him food, gave him the sword of Goliath the Pelishite. And the king sent someone to call Abimelech the Cohen, son of Ahitub, and all of his father's house, the Kohanim who were in Nob, and they all came to the sovereign. And Shaul said, Hear now, son of Ahitub. He answered, Here I am, my master. And Shaul said to him, Why have you conspired against me, you and the son of Jesse, by giving him bread and a sword? You've inquired of Elohim for him, to rise against me, to lie in wait, as it is this day. And Abimelech answered the sovereign and said, And who among all of your servants is so trustworthy as David, who is the sovereign's son-in-law, and has turned aside to your counsel, and is esteemed in your house? Have I today begun to inquire of Elohim for him? Far be it from me. Let not the sovereign lay a case against his servant, or against any in the house of my father. For your servant knew not of all of this, little or much. And the sovereign said, You shall certainly die, Abimelech, you and all of your father's house. The sovereign then said to the guards who stood about, Turn and put the Kohanim of Yahweh to death, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled, and they did not reveal it to me. But the servants of the sovereign would not lift their hands to come against the Kohanim of Yahweh. And the sovereign said to Doeg, You turn and come against the Kohanim. So Doeg the Edomite turned and came against the Kohanim, and put to death on that day 85 men who wore a linen shoulder garment. And he smote Nob, the city of Kohanim, with the edge of the sword, from men even to women, from children even to nursing infants. Aww. Oxen and donkeys, sheep, all with the edge of the sword. And one of the sons of Abimelech, son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. Abiathar reported to David that Shaul slain the Kohanim of the Most High. And David said to Abiathar, I knew that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, he would certainly tell Shaul, I am accountable for all of their lives of your father's house. Remain with me and do not fear, for he who seeks my life seeks your life. But with me you are safe. Hallelujah.